No sé qué pasa.
Dice meeting is now streaming live on YouTube. Listo.
Apenas estés que setting up your meeting for okay, listo. No sé qué pasa. Listo, ya, espérese, ya le voy a decir que entre. Voy a intentar una última vez y si no, ya, entramos. No. Ok, entremos. Instagram no fue.
Listo.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Hello, Tia, Erika, Zara, Noemi, Teresa, Russell. If you could please open your mics. No, your cameras for a little bit, your mics as well. I want to see you. I want to see who is here. Welcome to this class. Welcome to HIC Parenting. I see Tia. I see Jelena. Is that how I pronounce your name?
It's Yana.
Jelin. Nice to meet you.
Okay.
How are you doing?
I'm doing right. How are you?
I'm doing great. Where are you joining us from?
I'm from Serbia, that's in Southeastern Europe.
Oh, wow. What time is it over there?
It's 6 p.m.
6 p.m. That's crazy. That's amazing that you're here. Well, welcome to this class. We are going to start with setting clear intentions. I'm so happy that you guys are here. I cannot wait to share with you the use method that has helped me correct any behavior with ease and that has helped 14,151 of our clients correct any behavior with ease. Before we start, if you could please open your cameras, I want to know who is here. That creates a level of safety, of familiar environment among us because we're going to be sharing about our parenting. Parenting is a very vulnerable, it's a delicate string in our hearts. So it's always good to know who is here to create that level of safety. Shannon, Erika, if I always love to start my classes and my coaching sessions with setting a clear intention. So if you were to think about what pulled you to take time out of your busy day to be here with us, to be together, what do you want to get out of this class? If you could please type it in the chat, that would be great. If not, I want to hear some of you. I see Russell. Hi, Russell. I'm so, she's like, oh, she's talking to me.
I was not expecting to be on the call. I was going to type in the chat.
What's your intention for this session?
I've been following you for a while, so my intention, and I really love how you're able to showcase the transformation between a parent who has done it the way that their parents have parented to being more intentional and aware of how our communication really affects the child. So
Mhm.
my intention is to um, get some practice with the languaging that I'm unfamiliar with.
Okay. I think besides the practicing of the language, is there something that you want to improve in your parenting? Is there any reaction that you want to improve? What are the ages of your kids? Where do you want to get in your parenting, let's just say 6 months from now?
Okay, cool. Yeah, so my kids are 3 and 4. And I notice that when I feel overwhelmed, that my bandwidth for patience is gone. So,
I hear
um,
it.
to where the irritable, like I will snap. So I'm full time with my kids. I am president of a company. I'm constantly like multitasking and managing emotions, not only my children's emotions and my own. And so the transformation I'd like to see is to create more space to be able to be with all of the emotions whenever they pop up.
Mm.
Um,
So once you create that space and once you become the secure parent, what could be possible for you and your family as a busy mom who runs a company and who takes care of many things at the same time? What could be possible?
what's possible is I think everything's possible. It's a lot more peace. I'll be able to pivot from thing to thing, and I just see more peace. That's a good
Mm,
question.
mm.
I'll be able
So,
to like step into the observer mode instead of like constantly reacting. I think
mm,
I'll also have the space um to plan better.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So becoming a secure parent would not only impact the way that you relate to your children, it would impact the way that you feel about yourself and the way that you are able to take on the day because you will be able to plan better. There will be more space. There would not be as many power struggles. Things are not going to get as big all the time. You will be able to catch things early and the routine is going to be smoother. Did I hear right, Russell?
Yeah, I think the way that I parent my children will positively affect the way that I parent my husband. Um,
That's
like,
awesome. Thank you so much. If you relate to Russell, please give her a heart. I'm going to give you a heart because I relate to you running HIC parenting and having two kids. If are you a neurodivergent parent? Are you raising a child with ADHD, autism?
I mean, probably. I think so I actually have four kids. I have a 15, a 14, a 3, and a 4-year-old. My two oldest children spend the majority of time with their dad in Ohio. I live in Florida. So co-parenting has also been part of the conversation. But they're pretty self-sufficient. It's now the younger ones that we're getting with temper tantrums and things are popping up. And we also homeschool too, so that's part of it.
So possibly any other neurodivergent family here, ADHD, autism, Zara. I'm autistic, ADHD, by the way. My son is autistic, ADHD. My oldest one, the one who is an adult now, he is neurodivergent as well. So if you're a neurodivergent family, I have a special place in my heart. Most of our clients in HIC parenting are neurodivergent families, and that's basically our bread and butter. So I'm so happy that you're here. What we're going to do is if you could please type in the chat your clear intention for this session. Already Russell told us about how what it would mean for her family to become a secure parent, to know how to manage her emotions better, to understand her children better. If you were to picture yourself in that position, what would it mean to you? What would it mean to you having the skills and the tools to show up as a secure parent? That would be great if you could type it in the chat. We have Federico here. Please raise your hand. He is one member of HIC parenting team. He's going to be here helping us in the chat with the links, technical support. Because having ADHD, I don't know how to pass slides and talk to you at the same time. I need help because I cannot multitask. So he's going to be the one helping us with the slides. Let's go to the presentation and then let's start this class. So today I'm going to share with you the use process or the USE method to correct any behavior of any child with ease from the understanding of their needs. From the understanding of their needs. Otro porfis. You have ADHD, Shannon? That's great. I'm so glad that you're here. So what to expect? First things first, it's going to be divided in 3 sections. Section number 1 is the teaching. Section number 2, the teaching is going to give you all the information you need to have a peaceful dynamic with your kids. But many parents, they're like, okay, I have the steps. I need someone to help me walk the steps, apply the steps, integrate it in my family with my specific needs. So at the end, I'm going to tell you how you can book a free one-on-one session with a member of our team. Yes. And for the ones who are thinking like, hey, I need help on the application so you can get kickstarted on the application of these steps. And part 3 is the Q&A. If we have enough time, I will reserve a few minutes to answer your questions. Otro, por favor. The disclaimer is that this is a class. This is not parenting coaching because we are not in a coaching session, even though I'm a parenting coach. Coaching is a process. It's not like I go to the gym once and then I expect to come out with the body I want, you know what I mean, type of thing. Coaching is a process and is usually a process of months for people to see the transformation. Take this time as great information, the information that you need to break your cycle, become a secure parent, and correct behaviors with ease. But it's not coaching, because coaching is the application of the things that you're going to learn today. So that's the disclaimer. And that's it. Otro, porfis. So this class is for you if you are a parent. First things first. If you are not a parent, this class is not for you. I'm not going to kick you out, but this class is not for you. And if you are a parent who is committed to raising children away from harmful practices, I'm so curious. What is the thing that you promise yourself you would not do once you become a parent, but you still do it sometimes, or you've done it and you're trying to break away from it? If you could please type in the chat, that would be great, or open your mic. This is not a webinar. This is a Zoom call, so we can all chat.
Yelling.
Yelling. Thank you for shouting. Okay. Shouting. Okay. For me, it was shutting down. It was the emotional iceberg. I grew up with that, and then I noticed myself going to that when I became a mom, yelling, taking things away. Okay. So if you want to break away from any generational pattern, any toxic reaction, this class is for you. Otro, porfis. I'm going to show you the 3 principles, which is the use process that has allowed me to teach my neurodivergent sons and his strong-willed twin. I have twins. One is ADHD, autistic. The other one is neurotypical. And then the oldest one is an adult. He's neurodivergent. And these processes that you're going to learn today have allowed me to teach and see better positive behavior without sorting to bribes, threats, yelling, any fear tactics that I lived growing up. Latino, chancla, chancla. I remember, like, my abuelita, she's here right now. And then as we were in breakfast, she said, if you didn't listen to me, I went with the belt and I didn't have to do anything else. You would just listen to me. I didn't even have to spank you. But the mechanism is the same, is fear. So this process allowed me to break away from fear tactics and see positive behavior and a lot easier, and break away from those reactions that I don't want to do. Otro, porfis. So these are the 3 skills. We're going to break them down throughout this class. I'm going to show you as well the stories of some of the parents who have applied these skills in coaching with us. And then let's move from there. So skill number 1, and please, because this is the overview of the whole class, this is a great section of the class to take a screenshot. Take a screenshot or take a picture. And then that would be awesome if you could tag me on Instagram and post it in your stories. So step number 1 of the use process is you understanding the needs beneath all behaviors. This is the skill of mindsight. Once you develop this skill, you will prevent most power struggles because you know what your children exactly need to feel at ease and to collaborate with you. How would that feel to you if you didn't have to yell to get better listening, but just by understanding their needs and knowing how to communicate to them from their needs? That's the skill of mindsight. Number 2, the skill of emotional regulation. which is knowing how to settle down emotions that will help your child calm down and that will help you calm down little storms before they become these big meltdowns. I get questions often, Marcela, but what do I do with the meltdown and the heating? Do you come with that question? Well, heating and meltdowns, and we're gonna review that in a little bit, is the symptom of very high level dysregulation. Once you learn to catch things early, those things could be prevented most of the time. Most of the time, even if you have autistic kids. And number three is equipping children with skills to have positive behavior. And those are positive discipline skills. You will go from putting out fires to correcting behaviors the long term. Spanking, yelling, bribing corrects behaviors or fixes behaviors that's short term. That's why you see it over and over again. Positive behavior corrects it the long term. And this is the overview, and we are going to break down each one of the steps. Hitting is so triggering, it makes me want to scream. I understand, Shannon. Otro porfis. If you are new to me, I'm so curious. Could you please let me know in the chat if you're new to me or if you're new to our account, to HIC Parenting Agency? If you are new to us, I want to introduce ourselves. We are HIC Parenting Coaching Agency. We are an agency. We are a team of coaches. This is our wonderful team of coaches and administrators and client success managers. And this is me as well. And we've been helping parents break away from reactivity, become secure parents, and parent their children with peace here it says the last 4 years, but we just turned 5 years old, the last 5 years, and I cannot wait to serve you. I am a certified parenting coach, and I am the founder and head coach of HIC Parenting. So that's who we are. Nanu, I love your content. That's so good. Okay, otro porfis. And we have served 14,151 clients plus. We did that count like a year ago. We have more clients now. And many of these clients, most of these clients have high sensitive kids. Do you feel that you have a high sensitive kid? They cry easily or they get aggressive easily. Is one of the two. They're the quote unquote drama or the aggression. Those are highly sensitive kids. Most of them are parents of highly sensitive kids or neurodivergent kids or ADHD kids, or they're highly sensitive parents themselves. And they have gone from overwhelming frustration to feeling more at peace once they embody these processes that you're going to learn today. For example, Lucy is one that stands out to me, the one here on the bottom in the middle. Her son, 5 years old, couldn't stay in daycares. He kept being kicked out from daycare to daycare because of aggression. Once she learned to understand his needs and to help him with these 3 skills that you're going to learn today, his child now is able to stay in school. And he's able to find friends, keep friends, and she feels a lot more secure, calmer, and confident in her parenting skills. Otro porfis. Before I start breaking down the 3 steps, I have a gift for you, for all of you who are live. You don't have to do anything else but to stay with me to the end. We have the Coping Strategies Guide, which is our bestseller to help kids how to manage their behaviors with coping strategies. These are coping strategies activities that you can teach your kids right now, toddlers and up, toddlers, preschoolers, school age kids. If you have those ages, this is a great digital guide. You can get it for $57 on our website, or you can stay to the end and you can get it for free. This is my gift to you. Otro porfis. Okay, so who's ready to start learning the use process to correct any behavior with ease. If you're ready, say, I'm ready. Let's
I'm
go.
ready.
I'm ready.
Erica's vocal. Yes, I
I'm
love
ready.
vocal ones. Okay, so type this down. Let's understand the needs beneath all behaviors. This is the skill of mindsight. And don't worry, I'm going to give you a lot of examples or the best examples that I could find. So it is very clear to you this skill. Otro, porfis. I'm sure that if you're here, it's because you follow gentle parenting side in social media. Possibly you follow more creators and you've heard these expressions. It's okay to be angry, but it's not okay to hit. Gentle hands. Teach them that I won't let you hit me, but you can be angry. Take a deep breath. Look at these choices, and then you apply all this. And I'm so curious, what happens? Does that work? All these scripts? Roselle is laughing. Doesn't it feel like it's a hit or miss? Like if our children are in a good mood, maybe it works. But if not, or if I'm not, if I'm in a good mood and I want to repeat it over and over, maybe it would eventually work. But if, other than that, it doesn't work. And it gets so frustrating, right? And then we think like, what's wrong with me or what's wrong with my kids? How come it works for these gentle parenting creators that I don't know anything about their lives? All they show is the highlights of when the time it went well. these these are cookie cutter general scripts. They don't address your child's particular needs. They're cookie cutter general scripts. It's not, they don't work because you're a bad parent, because your kids are just too strong willed or too neurodivergent. None of that. It's because they're cookie cutter general scripts. Imagine if you go to a clothes store and all the underwear and the bras and the clothes were the same size. That's what we're doing in our parenting. Right? That's what we're doing. So I understand your frustration and you've been blaming yourself for not these things not working. It's not your fault. They're not working. Otro porfis. And then we have this expectation of the beautiful cupcake. I'm gonna tell my child to take deep breaths, and they don't. So that's the reality. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Otro porfis. I'm not going to give you general cookie cutter scripts. Russell, you say, I want to know how to talk to my kids. I want to know more ways to talk to my kids. I'm not going to teach you scripts because they don't work. Scripts don't work. What works is the relationship we have with our kids and the understanding of their needs. These three skills. What I'm going to give you is a framework that you can adapt to your family. And how I said, if you need our team to walk you through and to help you apply it, we are available for you. But I'm going to give you a framework and not a script, an understanding of your children and how they operate, and not a script. Otro porfis. So now that being said, and now that we are clear about this is not a script-driven class, but a framework class, let's talk about this framework. If you want to correct any behavior with this, it's necessary to know what drives the child's behavior. Let's just think for a second. Is it just me? But I don't like being hungry. I don't like being hungry. So just imagine you are hungry, you are trying to cook lunch, and then your husband or your wife comes to tell you whatever damn thing they want to tell you, and you snap at them because you're hungry. What would you do if they told you, you can be angry with me, but you cannot snap at me? while you have that need? What would you do? You can either open your mic or type it in the chat. Let's use the chat a lot too, because
I would be more irritated.
What do you say?
I would be even more irritated.
Right? What could help us when we have a physical need? Let's talk about this physical need. What about if our spouse, if the same thing happened to our spouse, like, oh, I see that, like, I will take care of everything. Like, just serve your plate and I will serve the kids. Don't worry, I will clean here. I will finish cutting the apples for the toddler. And then he has a conversation with you afterwards. Hey, I didn't like the snapping. What is your most likely reaction to that? Yeah. Otro porfis. Yeah, we will be a lot more receptive because our needs are met. According to Dr. William Glasser, he is a researcher in the topic of needs linked up to behavior. He said that all behaviors, the hitting, the snapping, the yelling, like what's the behavior that took you to this class? Type it in the chat. What's the behavior that took you to this class? The hitting, the snapping, the yelling, the biting, the sibling fights, the bedtime stalling, the morning stalling, all those behaviors communicate one of the 5 basic needs. Let me give you an overview of one of the 5 basic needs. With our clients, we take about 4 weeks. Yeah, depending on the need of the client, but about 4 weeks to train them to understand each one of these needs, and not just that, parent their children from this understanding. But I'm going to give you a very quick overview. The need of survival, which is safety and physical needs. With that, let me give you an example. Let's just say when we move into this house, the twins woke up in the middle of the night like 4 times every day, and they were already 4-year-olds because they had the need for safety. It was a new environment. They it kind of feel scary to them. The need for belonging, which is connection and inclusion. Let's look at the same behavior, waking up in the middle of the night because the child is looking for that connection. The need for power, which is feeling skillful, feeling that I'm able to. Imagine the same behavior, waking up in the middle of the night because the child is in the middle of potty training and they're learning their body, and it wakes them up. The need for freedom, imagine the same behavior, waking up in the middle of the night because the child has the need for autonomy to choose what to do and how to do it. They're a little toddler and they just learn that they're not in a crib anymore. They can get out of the bed. So they're exploring that new independence. Let's just say the same behavior, waking up in the middle of the night with the need for fun, because this child it's Phoenix, it's summertime, they were in the house all day because it's too hot to be outside. So they didn't spend all their energy during the day, and they woke up in the middle of the night ready to keep on playing. So do you see how the same behavior, depending on the context, could communicate any of the 5 basic needs? That's why when parents come to DM in social media, hey, Marcela, my child is waking up in the middle of the night. My child is eating. My child is doing ABC. What do I do? I'm like, hey, I don't know yet. Let's come to coaching and let's see what the need is. And then we set up a plan so the need is met, right? Otro porfis. I'm going to give you an example on how I understood my child's need, autistic child's need, and how that helped me get out of a power struggle to bring this home. So it was summer camp. Heading out to a funeral. Oh, is there a recording? Yes, it will be a recording. Yeah. I'm sorry for your loss. Okay. So it was summer camp and it was Friday. They've been going to summer camp all the week, no problem. And then I need summer camp. Do you need summer camp? If you need summer camp, raise your two hands. I need summer camp because I'm a working parent and I don't know what to do with them during summer break. Anyway, I needed to go drop them off because I have meetings. I told them, hey guys, get ready. They were about 7 years old. Now they're 9. And one of them got ready and the other one didn't. I went again. I said, hey, son, we need to go in 15 minutes. Please get ready. He didn't acknowledge me. He kept on doing what he was doing with his Legos. And when it was really time to leave, he was not ready. He didn't even start getting ready. What would you do if this happened to you? What would you do? What would you do? Jelena, what would you do? What would you do? Tia, what would you do?
I would probably do the work for them and then try to discuss it sometimes later because we're in a hurry.
Yeah. What would you do, Erica? What would you do, Keith, Susila, Marisol? What would you do? Please type it in the chat. You don't have to open your mics every time I ask you questions. What would you do? Yell. Thank you for your vulnerability. Yeah, if you would yell, please say it. If you would spank, please say it. This is a judgment-free zone. We are not judging parents here. We are helping parents. Yell at them. They get dressed. Struggle is so frustrating. Yeah. I would sigh a lot. I think I did that. I sigh. Tell them what exactly to do to get ready. Let's move to the other slide. I would give them fast choices. Grab the clothes and dress in the car. Definitely be overwhelmed. Accidentally make my child feel the same. They spiral from guilt. I don't spank, but I do shame. Unfortunately, you're going to be 4. It's just time to get dressed. Thank you for your vulnerability, Shannon. I'm gonna give you all love because we all been there. I'm frustrated when I'm not heard about what they had to do. So remember that every behavior communicates a need. Offering choices and yelling and reminding him again. I already told him like 3 times and reminding him a 4th and 5th time. Would that really help? The first thing that we need to do is unveil the need. Unveil the need. And these are kind of like the 4 steps that I follow. Number 1, look for a pattern or the disruption of a pattern. And don't worry, we can help you do these in coaching. Because usually when needs happen, there is something different about it. You went to summer camp all week, what happened today? Then explore the feelings, then connect the feelings to the need and explore ways to meet the need. This is what really happened. He had the need for survival or safety, one of the 5 basic needs. Let's go and see what really happened. Otro porfis. That day was movie day, and my son doesn't go to the movies. 2 days ago, my husband went to the movies with the other one, and he doesn't go to the movies unless it's Despicable Me or Minecraft, but anything else he doesn't go. Why? The lights, the noise, the movement, the darkness. That's the perfect recipe for a sensory meltdown for my autistic son. That's the perfect recipe for a meltdown for me. My husband took me to watch Avatar for a date, just him and I couldn't finish it because I had a sensory meltdown being autistic. He asked me what was about it. I'm like, it was too blue. It was too blue. So he had this this need, this sensory anxiety, thinking about I have to be in a movie for 2 hours and I won't have my caregivers, my attachment figures, my parents to help me if I get really triggered. He was very scared about that. But this is the thing, children don't communicate their needs with, Mom, you know why? I am sensory overwhelmed. No, they just do it through behaviors. No, I'm not getting dressed. I'm not going, or just ignoring me. That's what he was doing. But when I follow these steps, was the disruption of the pattern, was about today, it was movie day, and I explored his feelings. He's really scared and nervous. And then I connected to a need. Okay, you need to feel safe. And then I help him troubleshoot that need. What can help you? Maybe you can talk to the teacher. Okay, is there a place that you can retrieve if it gets too much? There is a craft room next door. Okay, I talked to the teacher. He said, no problem. He doesn't have to be in the movies. He could be in the craft room the whole time. And when I picked him up, the surprising thing what the teacher told me, he just went to the craft room. So he built his resilience because he had a plan to meet his need. Scripts, bribes, yelling, consequences would have not helped him cooperate with me to get dressed and go to summer camp. Imagine how your relationship with your children will be once you parent them from the understanding of their needs. How do you think your life, your routine, your morning, let's start with the morning. How do you think your morning would go once you have the skill of mindsight? Because this is the skill. Mindsight is the ability of seeing. Dr. Daniel Siegel defines mindsight as the skill of seeing into someone else's mind. Seeing into someone else's mind, seeing their needs, their feelings, their internal landscape. What is the one thing that you can remove out of your day if you had the skill of mindsight? Calmer, more loving, less frustrating. Yeah, our clients say that all the time. All the time, especially neurodivergent parents. Because autistic kids, ADHD kids, they don't want to be bad. They just have so many needs, higher needs. But all kids have needs, even my neurotypical one. Reactivity. What do you mean reactivity, Erika? What do you mean? Open
Well, I
up.
feel like if I had that tool, then I would be less reactive in the sense where I try to be calm, but as soon as I'm overwhelmed, then everything goes out the window.
Mm.
So, and I really try. It's just kind of like a domino effect of things. So,
Yeah.
like I'm a single mom. I work from home. I
Yeah.
homeschool. Co-parenting is a nightmare. And I think my main issue is I try to get some alone time at night, which sabotages my whole day. So if I don't have enough sleep, then a
Yeah.
lot of these other things are kind of hard to navigate through because I'm like kind of on empty. And then I can repeat the cycle because I just want a little bit of alone time.
Yeah.
And I see that it's affecting my child. So if you can also give us some tips on going to bed early, that'd be helpful.
You know, Erica, I get it. It's like I've been parenting all day and taking care of everybody. I deserve me and you deserve you. You deserve time for you. I understand. I want to challenge your thinking because I get that a lot from newer coaching clients. If I just had a better routine, I would not be as reactive. And the routine and the reactivity are just a symptom, Erica. It's like blaming your leaky roof on the water. Like the water is the one causing the leaky roof. And the cause of your leaky roof is not the water, is the hole on the roof. The cause of you needing, feeling that you need to stay up until late to rewind and reset after a very hard day of parenting is because parenting has been hard all day. With single parents who I've worked with, once they learn these skills, parenting is not as hard. It doesn't take as long. Power struggles are not all the time. So they have time to reset throughout the day. So when the kids go to sleep, they don't feel they need to be until 1 in the morning just recovering from the day. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think I operate more on that. The parenting is not necessarily the hard thing. I think I can be my own worst enemy where I feel guilty. So like I feel guilty that I'm working. I feel guilty that I am not spending that time with him. And I recognize the need. I recognize, hold on, I have to give a hug because
Yeah, cute.
okay. I recognize the need. I recognize all of those things. And being that I feel that I have to do it alone, that's where the struggles come in. That's where I get overwhelmed. And then I have trouble. I have trouble in that sense. Puppy, stop. I have trouble in that sense. So
I'm very curious. Do you deal with reactivity when power
yes,
struggles? Okay.
absolutely. It was something that as a one
Like
moment, please.
and then I have a question. I get it. Solo parenting is it's hard.
It was something that I grew up with.
Yeah.
Very much so. Like, I mean, everything was a reaction. It was a very
Hold on,
abusive
let me stop you
household.
for a second because I want to ask you a question.
Mhm.
If you were not as reactive, if you had the skills that you are learning today and embody them in your home, and we're just in skill 1, we need to go to skill 2, which is I think the one that will really serve you, emotional regulation.
Mm.
If you
Thank you.
have those skills, even being a solo parent, do you think that it would not feel as exhausting, or like do you think it will help you?
No, absolutely. I think it would help tremendously
Yeah. Why?
because I do have trouble regulating my own emotions. And then I can't be that foundation for my son when he's dysregulated. And
Yeah.
it's just a lot.
Yeah. Everybody give love to Erica. Thank you for your vulnerability. And I'm so happy that you're here. And you know what? The fact that you're here, single parent, taking care of everything and everybody and still showing up for this class, that's just, my gosh, you're a
Mm.
super mom. It
Thank you.
lets me know that your children are your highest priority.
He is. Thank you.
Okay, let's move on with the class. Everybody's giving you love, Erika. Otro, porfis.
Thank you.
And that's why I wanted to ask Erika as well, what does she see possible once she unravels, once she's trained on understanding and addressing needs instead of behaviors. My encouragement for you is that next time you see behaviors, see needs. Because when we see the behavior, we run into judgment. He's defiant, he's blindly disobeying me, he's rude. But when we see needs, we see a struggling kid. And that helps us with our own reactivity as well because we get more empathetic. Kelly, she is one of our coaching clients. When she came to HIC parenting, she felt disappointed of herself because she followed social media accounts, she read all the books, she was trying to do all the right things, and still she found herself yelling at her daughter. And she was, I think she had a baby or she was pregnant at the time, and I'm not sure. But yeah, she had 3, under 5. And this is what she's saying once she learned the scale of mindset. Once she embodied the scale of mindset, not just learned it, but applied it in her family. Of course, she did it with us in a coaching process, but it's the same skill that I'm teaching you right now. Porfas.
I feel so much more confident in our parenting because I know that my kids feel connected to me and fully seen.
I want to point that out. They feel seen. I have a question for you. How would you felt if your parents understood your needs? When you were trying to run out of the house, when you were trying to sneak things, when you were yelling, when you were lying to them, when you were doing all those quote unquote bad behaviors, if they truly understood your needs and had the skill of mindset, how would that felt to you? Yeah. This is a connection and relationship based parenting. More loved. Otro porfis. Before I move to step number 2, which is the scale of emotional regulation, and end with the scale of positive discipline, I have an invitation. If all these things have been ringing the bell for you the last minutes that we've been in this class, I don't want to wait until very end, because I know that some of you are not staying till the very end to give this invitation. Information alone won't do any change in your parenting. What will change in your parenting is the application and the integration of these skills in you and in your family. And that's why we're here in HIC Parenting. That's what we do. This class is like if you go to a class to learn how to eat healthy. Parenting coaching is working directly with your nutritionist who understands your needs, your lifestyles, your metabolism, your dietary needs, etc. That's what parenting coaches do. So if you want us to help you become a secure parent a lot faster and easier this year instead of 2 years or more, my invitation is to book right now a free one-on-one assessment session. It's free. It's with a member of our team in HIC Parenting. All of us are professionals in parenting. And the intention of this session is basically 3 things. Number 1, for you to get clear about your particular dynamic and needs and your children's needs, your own particular reactive pattern. What's taking you, Erika, to go for so long and then needing so much time in the night or getting reactive? A lot of the times, you don't have to answer me right now, but a lot of the times what we've seen is that when we grew up in a home where our needs were not met, where our needs did not matter, we grew up believing our needs don't matter, so we exhaust ourselves to the point of reactivity. Possibly you've been not meeting your needs all day, and of course you're in more than E at the time that you get in bed. And that has nothing to do with being a single parent. It has a lot more to do with your own mindset and what's happening in your nervous system. So in that session, you will get clear about your particular pattern, what's taking you to react, and we will give you our particular recommendation to help you. Our particular recommendation to help you get out of that reactivity so you can parent with peace. If you want to continue with us in our coaching services, at the very end, you will tell us, if you give us permission, to share with you more about how our coaching services work and pricing, and you will make your decision. If you decide not to continue with us in coaching, we don't go there because we only share about our services with permission. I don't like going to free classes and people just talk about their services. I don't like that. Or to go to a call and people just talk about their services. That's not how we do things here in HIC Parenting. Okay? So Whether you end up being a coaching client or not, you're going to walk out with a lot of awareness and knowledge. One of the parents who attended the session said it's like if you had an X-ray on my parenting. That's what you are going to see. You're going to live with an X-ray of your parenting, and from that clarity and understanding, you will start making changes. If you want to do it with us at the very end, with your permission, we will share with you how we do it in a coaching process. So, how to book this one-on-one free session? All you have to do is scan the QR code on the screen, or the link is in the chat. You can do it at any point of this session. A little disclaimer, we're a small team, so we don't have a lot of spots available. So make sure you do it now before everything is taken, because this replay will go to all the people who didn't come, and then we're going to book out today. So my encouragement is to go right now, book your session. The first thing that you will find once you click the link is a questionnaire. On the questionnaire, answer it with intention, because we take those answers and we prepare a game plan for you. And then commit to show up. If you have a spouse or a wife or a husband and a partner, bring them to the call, because they're part of the dynamic. And what else? The kids. People ask me about the kids. The kids could be around. Just make sure they have their needs met so they're not interrupting. And number two, they're not right there on your lap, because, I mean, do you really want to talk about all your struggles in front of them? I don't recommend it, unless you don't care. But I know you do care. You're part of the Secure Friend Collective, Erica? That's great.
I'm trying everything I can. Like, I couldn't
Erica.
necessarily afford the one-on-one. You guys do so much amazing work and have so much skill.
Erica, Erica, it's okay. Just book the session. I don't know if you've had it. Book the session. You don't have to join our services, and then you will get a great assessment anyway.
Okay.
Okay, otro porfis. Before I move into skill number 2, which is the skill of emotional regulation, any questions? Any questions so far about the skill of mindsight, or about the assessment session, about anything? I think everything's been very clear. I'm so glad. Okay, so the skill of emotional regulation. I love this skill. I mean, this is, I would say, one of, like, the 3 skills are foundational, but this one is huge. Because without emotional regulation, how can we have mindsight to try to understand their needs? For example, this skill it's very, very crucial and foundational. Let's go to the second skill. Okay. When we are triggered, we enter into our fight or flight. Our survival centers activate, and we are not focused on communication, but on survival. I get a lot of this. I try to offer a hug. I try to offer to take a deep breath. I talk to their level and explain to them why we cannot have ABC, and they still all over the place. It's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's that they're operating from their survival brain, from their survival centers. And when they're there, their communication is shut down, because communication and logical processes are not in their survival brain. It's not your fault that your children are not really that responsive when they're that triggered. Does that make sense? Okay, otro porfis. 1000%. When your child is in survival, they respond more to your level of nervous system regulation than to the logic of your words and scripts. Children can differentiate, and this is something that I learned the hard way, I was trying to speak calmly, but I wasn't really calm. Is that you? Raise your hand. I'm going to raise my 2 hands because I've been there. I'm trying to speak calmly, but I am clenching my teeth. They can't even see my tongue because I'm so frustrated and overwhelmed. They can smell that. They can differentiate between a dysregulated parent who is sounding calm and a secure parent. So there are 2 things in the mix here. They don't respond to our words, number 1, because they're dysregulated, they're in their survival brain, but number 2, because if we are triggered, that's what they are responding to. It's like 2 nervous systems are feeding off each other. Often in conflict, I myself like this example of the child. Otro, porfis. Number 3 reason is why my child doesn't respond. If there is a cycle, and I call this pressure cooker parenting. By the way, there are 3 types of reactive patterns. You're going to learn this in your one-on-one assessment session. You are going to reveal what your particular one is. But there is one that is the pressure cooker. So pressure cookers are emotional stuffers. Possibly, Erica, that's you. I'm not sure. But emotional stuffers are the ones who build and build and build. They usually start really optimistic and they try to do like their gentle parenting comes out in the morning. But by dinner, they're yelling. And it's because they're stuffing their emotions down. They're stuffing it down. They're stuffing it down. They're stuffing it down. And this creates a cycle. What is the cycle? That if they eventually yell or they eventually turn scary for the child. So their nervous system starts expecting that, the child's nervous system. So if it is a pattern, even if you're sounding calm, or even if you are really calm at the moment, if eventually they get this, if eventually it gets scary for them, then their nervous system is already primed to respond with stress. Does that make sense? They is already primed to respond with stress. Secure parents are not calm parents. Please write this down because this is going to be one of the biggest aha moments that I got in my life, and I'm sure it's going to help you. A secure parent is not a calm parent. So you trying to be calm, you trying to not get angry is what's keeping you in the pressure cooker reactive pattern. Is what's priming your child's nervous system to respond to stress and not to connection. And that's why they don't respond to your connection, but to your stress. They won't listen unless I yell. They're primed to respond to stress. So a secure parent is not a calm parent, but because social media has sold us that we need to be calm, then we learn to stuff our not calm feelings until they overflow and then they come out in very reactive ways. A secure parent is a parent who has emotional regulation skills, which is the ability of knowing how not to feel calm, of knowing how to feel angry, how to feel frustrated, how to feel annoyed, even how to feel overwhelmed, and still remain safe. I'm not saying remain calm, and still remain safe for the kids, and still remain safe for yourself. Otro, porfis. This is a story that was not part of the presentation, but it happened this weekend. So I have to tell you to illustrate what I mean. And after that, we're going to move to the other skill. We were at church. My husband is the one who cooks dinner. And he was hoping to eat at the church's restaurant so he didn't have to come back home to cook dinner. Well, everything went downside because the twins said, yes, I want chicken tenders and fries and whatever. And when we got to the table, my autistic son had a big autistic meltdown. He spilled his drink. It went all over the fries. It was a mess. And now my other son didn't want to eat the wet fries. And then now everybody was frustrated. And I knew that we could not eat there because it was pretty loud and my sons were dysregulated. I could tell my husband was very frustrated because he was hoping to eat at church so he didn't have to cook at home. We got in the car. He was visibly upset. I could see in his face. Everybody could see in his face. And he was eating the wet fries in the car, poor guy. As he was eating the wet fries in the car, my autistic son, which is crazy because my autistic son doesn't usually understand body language, but he understood that one. He said, Daddy, are you angry? He took a deep breath. And then he said, Son, I don't feel angry. I feel very frustrated because I was hoping to eat at the restaurant and now I have to go back and cook. My expectations were not met, did not meet my reality. He was frustrated. He was safe. He communicated his needs without blaming him, without shaming him, without punishing him, without yelling at him. I mean, he is a counselor and he's been working on emotional regulation all his life, all his adult life. But that's an example of not being calm and remaining safe. That cycle, when we start giving our children consistent evidence of us being safe, even if we're not calm, their nervous system relax a little bit more. So it's not about what to do with the meltdown, what to do with the aggression. Like if they are raised in a secure home, their nervous system is not walking on eggshells, hypervigilant, scanning every move because something bad is going to happen to me. I'm going to be yelled at. I'm going to be hit. They're a lot more relaxed, even if they have needs. He had a sensory meltdown at the church, but it didn't transfer to the home. Just imagine the opposite. You are so difficult because of you. I have to go back home and cook, and you are ABC, and you are so inconsiderate. And look, I'm eating wet fries. What do you think my son would have done? I'm sure behaviors would have popped up in the house as well. Not just towards us, but between the brothers. They would have gotten on a fight, something, because when children feel stress, they duplicate it, they multiply it. Is this making sense? Yeah. Otro porfis. Emotional regulation. To bring this home, take another screenshot. Emotional regulation is the skill of understanding my early signs of dysregulation so we can give our nervous system what it needs to settle down early enough to prevent getting to the point of explosion, which is the point of no return for you and your child. When my son spilled the drink all over the fries at church, my husband took a break. He left. He went outside. He knew he couldn't be there, at least for the moment. And I took care of it. I was surprisingly, I was regulated, being autistic. I was regulated, so I handled the moment. But this is the thing, Marcela, I try to take breaks. I still yell because you're taking them too late. You're taking them when you're in red, when you're explosive, when you are about to. Emotional regulation is a practice. It's the practice of understanding my nervous system and how my emotional thermometer works so I can give my body what it needs to regulate before I get to red. When he was yellow, he took care of himself. Now when he was in red. And don't worry, this is something that it is a practice, and we will show you and coach you to get there. That's why parenting coaching is not a class. Parenting coaching is not a session. It's not a consultation. Parenting coaching is a process because it takes time and it takes practice and it takes guidance and hold handling for you to master this skill. Otro porfis. Before I move to skill number 3, to bring everything home, which is the skill of positive discipline, how do I actually correct those behaviors? Let me show you the story of Chelsea. 3 kids, under 5, power struggles all the time because there was no emotional regulation. She was just putting out fires, stop fighting. And then she was as dysregulated with them. And everything was a mess. This is what she said once she mastered the skill of emotional regulation. It took her 10 weeks of coaching. Some parents takes them more, some parents takes them less, depending on their needs. Porfis.
My kids, it was always the fights and the power struggles and the yelling with the information that I was getting, and I was utilizing it in myself and my parenting. The power struggles were going away. The yelling was going away. The family dynamic was just a lot easier.
I remember when she came to HIC parenting, she was not sure if therapy or parenting coaching was the thing that she needed. I remember she said, I don't know if my children need therapy or I need therapy or we just do need parenting coaching. And this is why I told her, would you allow me to share my personal experience? And then she said, yes. When I told her, well, I'm going to tell you what brought me to parenting coaching. When my oldest son was living with us, PTSD, mood disorder, he came to foster care with us. So he didn't really have a secure attachment with us. He didn't have a secure relationship at first. He had trauma. He was going to therapy, trauma therapy and behavioral therapy to help him with his behaviors because they were high behaviors. Putting holes in the wall, taking the closet door off the rail, taking his mattress to the floor like crazy. Very high behaviors, trying to run away. And all these things were triggered by his trauma and many other things that he had going on. He was going to therapy. And things that happened there is that the therapist was great. And he was the first day of therapy or the first 2 days after therapy were okay, but then he would backtrack. And then it was kind of a cycle of he came out of therapy and then he got bad again and then came out of therapy and got bad again. And then I noticed something, that I was sabotaging his growth because I was triggered, I was frustrated, I was reactive, I was sending him to his room and then come on till I said so. I had zero skills. I didn't have mindset. I didn't understand his needs. I didn't have emotional regulation skills. So when he was upset or dysregulated, I was dysregulated with him. I didn't have positive discipline skills to guide him. The things that the therapist told me to do at home, I didn't know how to do them in tricky moments because I was there with him. So the progress was not the same. I thought that everything was going to be lost until I learned that there was parenting coaching for me. I gained these skills. I learned to regulate my emotions, help him regulate his emotions. I learned mindset skills to understand his needs. And I learned how to apply positive discipline skills to guide him during those moments. And that's when things started to work for us. Not because of the things he was doing, not just because of the things he was doing at therapy, but because I was secure and empowered and I had the skills to keep doing the amazing work that the therapist was doing at home because I knew how to take care of myself so I could take care of him, if that makes sense. So I told her, well, it is your choice. And she decided to do both. And that's where we are with her. So my question for you is, what do you think you need? I'm not sure. Only you know that answer. But if you feel empowered and you feel that you are not reactive, that you're a secure parent, that you know how to regulate your emotions, that you know mindset, if you feel that you have all those skills, then just do therapy for your kids. It's okay. But if no, I highly recommend parenting coaching. That's what's going to help you become a secure parent and parent your children with peace. That was because of that transformation that I lived. At the time, I was not a parenting coach. That's what that was what made me decide, hey, I want other parents to see this. The neighbors started noticing, and then they were asking, hey, your son, I mean, I remember he was angry all the time. Now he's happy. Now he plays well with our kids. What happened? And I started coaching them without being a coach until I'm like, hey, I'm just going to take this seriously. I went back to school. I got my certifications and I started HIC parenting. And everything else has been history now. We have helped 14,151 parents parent their children with peace. Okay, otro porfis. Let's move on to skill number 3. And before we go there, I want to remind you that the QR code is in the chat for you to book your free one-on-one assessment session. Yeah, the link is in the chat and the QR code is on the screen. If you cannot, for any reason, schedule it right now, but you want to schedule it, my invitation is to either save the link or take a screenshot of the QR code so you can do it later. So you can have the link later. But I highly recommend you to do it now before we book out. And then let's move with skill number 3, the skill of positive discipline. Positive discipline. Otro porfis. Punishment is putting out fires. Positive discipline is correcting behavior. Marcela, how do I stop hitting? That's putting out fires. Marcela, what are the skills that my child needs to learn so he can communicate his needs better, not through hitting? That's positive discipline. Do you see the difference? Marcela, how do I get my children to stop fighting? That's putting out fires. Marcela, how can I develop my children the skills to relate peacefully and to solve their conflicts without having to push each other or hit each other? That's positive discipline. Do you see the difference? If yes, say yes. If it's blurry, say blurry. If it's okay if you say blurry. I just want to know that these concepts are being understood. Otro porfis. Yelling. I think I'm preaching here to the choir right now, but this is for your husbands. Give them the replay, please. Husbands or wives, the other one who's not here, who doesn't believe in conscious parenting. Yelling or harsh tone, vamos a la otra, is not discipline. It's your nervous system being dysregulated at the moment and not knowing what else to do. Yelling creates the belief that that's the way to solve conflict. It increases anxiety, lowers self-esteem, and it increases aggression. Otro porfis. Take a screenshot and show it to your non-supportive spouse. Bribes and rewards. Bribes and rewards. Rewards are the same coin as punishments. I fear not getting a consequence or a punishment. That's why I behave good. That's fear. That's one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is I fear not getting a reward. That's why I behave. The same coin is fear. So the coin is fear, but you either use a punishment or a reward to manipulate the behavior. What's the problem with bribes and rewards? Otro. Children become extremely motivated by fear, and you almost have to increase the sticker, increase the price, because the current sticker is not good enough to get them to behave. They struggle to do what is right unless they're given a reward. It doesn't teach children the reasons to behave positively, and it doesn't develop skills. If you have a neurodivergent child, autistic, ADHD, this is the worst thing that you can do because they already feel like they're failing, and not getting the reward is the biggest confirmation for them that they're a failure. Otro, porfis. Putting out fires is focused on extinguishing the current behavior. Positive discipline is focused on the future. So how do you know if you're using a punishment or positive discipline? Simple. What is your focus? Is your focus a past behavior or a future behavior? If your focus is a future behavior, it's positive discipline, very possible. If it's a past behavior because you did this, then you're not going to have this, that's punishment. Oh, my child did this. Okay. What is the skill that I need to develop so he's better equipped to manage the same situation better next time? The focus is the future, not the past. When my children get in conflict, okay, this is what happened. You hit your brother. Let's just give that example. I don't know. What do we need to learn so this is not a thing next time? Otro, porfis. Otro, porfis. The example of piano. Yes, I remember. That happened a while ago because my mother-in-law was alive. My son was not complying to the piano lessons, and the piano teacher was telling him to do ABC, and he was doing the opposite, and he was being silly. Are those your children that when they don't want to listen, when they're not listening, they just get silly and they just do silly things and do the opposite, but kind of laughing? My mother-in-law saw that and she said, he's so disrespectful. You're not going to have ice cream. I'm like, okay. Let's go to the use process. You, understanding the need. What was the need there? He was quite lost and he didn't understand the lesson. I could tell that he started trying, but then when he got a little hard, he started getting silly. So that was his way of coping with lack of confidence. S, he was escalating to that defiance, right? And E is, what is the skill? So this is what we did. I called the teacher aside and said, I think Santi is not understanding the lesson. And that's why he's doing all that. What can we do to help him? And then he said, you know what? I'm going to teach him to ask for help. He went back to Santi and then he said, hey, Santi, when it's getting hard and you don't know what else to do, you can raise your hand. Let's practice. And he did it. And guess what? Guess what happened to the behavior? He didn't need that behavior anymore. because he was getting the help. So we understood the need. We gave Santi some time to settle down, and then we equipped them with better ways of handling that need. That's positive discipline. I have a question for you. Otro porfis. Do you believe? Remember, Rusel, remember what you told me. I want to be a secure parent. I hope once I get the skills that things are gonna be a lot easier, smoother. It's gonna be, I will have more space in the routine. I think Erica said that, or Rusel, I don't know which one of you two. Do you believe you can get there with these three skills, with the skill of mindset, the skill of positive discipline, and the skill of emotional regulation? And this question is for all of you guys. Do you believe you can be a secure parent if you had these three skills? Shannon, why? Could you please open your mic? You don't have to open your camera if you're not able to. Why? Shannon, are you there? She just answered me. Susanna, you said yes. Why? Why do you believe so?
I think it's about me learning the tools so that I can implement them. My mom didn't know the tools, so she yelled, she spanked, and I, talked with my husband. We got married, we had kids, and we decided not to spank. But then I'm yelling, and it's a thing that I didn't want to do. So I think if we learn how to teach our children the skills and teach our children regulation, I'm learning it as well, and I'm implementing it as well.
So, Susanna, I'm just curious about something, and this is how I say judgment free. What do you think is stopping you right now from embodying, integrating these skills in your home?
I think it's learning and implementing, right? So you gave an example of your husband being able to express himself. It takes time to learn how to identify my own emotions so that I can give the words to it and I can calm myself down in that moment and then express it to my kids. I think it's the cycle of I'm triggered and so I explode, and my children have whatever response they have. Like, we recognize that our children may be dysregulated, but we don't recognize our own dysregulation.
Yeah. And emotional regulation skills is basically body awareness skills.
Yeah. That we weren't taught and we weren't allowed to have. I come from a Caribbean family, and even the ideal of like neurodivergence, I'm learning about it now. And I think I'm neurodivergent. I think my children are divergent. I think my husband, but were we assessed as children? Was it a term that was acknowledged? No. In my family, you were taught to be seen and not heard.
Thank you. Let me give you love because I relate. If you relate to Susanna, give her love. Susanna, what do you think could help you embody these skills this year, not to wait? Because how long have you been trying to break your cycle?
12 years. My oldest is 12.
Okay. So it's been 12 years.
Yeah, I have a 12-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 5-year-old. And I think it's the thing too of like dealing with the different ages, the different responses, the different personalities.
Yeah. And then the neurodivergence too. Those come with its own set of needs.
My 5-year-old guy.
My question is, what do you think could help you stop the cycle this year and not wait 5 more years until your 5-year-old is 10?
I think the education. I think learning the tools of self-regulation and learning how to teach our children. Because, like, I've read parenting books. I read the Positive Discipline.
Those are great info.
Yes,
it's the application. I get it. Yeah, it's for me, it was the application, not so much the information.
Yeah, and I feel like in the moment, Like I may have learned, like you watch a video, I, took notes, something that was shared, I screenshot something, but in the moment of it happening with my child, even when I kind of recognize like, oh, there's something else going on, knowing how to respond and not threaten a spanking or threaten taking away the switch. I don't
I'm
go to.
I'm curious about this because you have different ages and big gaps in the ages. There was a client who came in who said, my daughter is 19 and my son is 10. No, 10, a little younger. Let's just say 10. I don't remember the exact age. And then she said, I'm in parenting coaching because I already lost my daughter. I mean, she's still alive, but she didn't have a good relationship with her. Because of my parenting, I don't want to lose my son.
Mm.
She started parenting coaching for her son. And then something crazy happened. At the end of the process, she said, I came for my son, but I want my daughter back.
Yeah.
She recovered the relationship with her daughter once she embodied these skills in her home. And her daughter is wanting to hang out with her, share her things with her. I'm very curious. What have you seen having already a 12-year-old? Like, for example, somebody who has a 5-year-old, and if things keep going the same way they're going, how did things turn out for
There's,
you?
there's, there's
12
definitely competition. Yes, baby. Hold on. It's okay. Ask him to make you another one.
Mhm.
There's definitely competition. And even for me with the 12-year, I think it started with the second. Like he felt replaced. And they're different types of children. And so he's tried to respond to life the way the second one does, but that's not his personality. And even right now, there's been a lot of him like yelling at his 5-year-old sister, or he'll say, like, you didn't discipline her for hitting me. And I'm like, she's
Oh.
5. You hitting her is not the same as her hitting you. She's not allowed to hit you, but if you hit her, it's going to hurt more. Like, there's not a comparison, but he compares as if they're the same age. And even like he has certain chores and he'll be like, well, you're not having her do it. She can't wash dishes at 5 and you were not washing dishes at 5. So I see a lot of competition and comparing. And I have to like talk to all of them and like remind them you're not the same people. You're all different. You're all different ages. Even the ideal of like what's required of you in 7th grade is what is not what's required in 1st grade. There's always going to be a difference, but it's hard for children to compute and understand.
Right.
I know for me right now, I need to respond differently because even that, I see them respond to each other by yelling.
Susanna, you see that the oldest one is comparing to the younger one, possibly because you've been trying to do things better. So he may see like how I was parented differently, what happened here. In terms of the relationship with you, what happened? What happened between your 12-year-old and you?
I think for him, it's like the introduction of other people. Even when I look at pictures of when my second one was born, he looks sad. And so I try to make time for each of them. I try to, even when he kind of withdraws, and he's very similar to me, where he can just take a book and go sit by himself. That's part of his personality. But because of everything going on, he does it more. And so I try to make sure I'll tell him to come sit with the family, or I'll go to him where he is. I'll ask him questions even when he says he doesn't want to talk because he really wants attention. So
And
when
you're a good mommy.
I'm trying.
Can I tell you something, Susanna? Even though your 12-year-old son grew up in traditional parenting and there has been consequences because of it, you can recover your son to be a secure child, because I've seen it with parents of teenagers. I even saw it with this lady that I was telling you that she had a 19-year-old, almost an adult, the last year of teenager. You can recover the time. You can recover the time. Now, time is of the essence because he's going to be a teenager soon. He's going to be 13. And then the more they grow, the more they start detaching from us to look into form other circles, but you still have time. And even if he's a teenager, you do have time. But what I'm trying to say is that he's still under your care fully. He doesn't even drive himself places. You have time. We can help you. We can help you not just learn these skills because you've been learning these, you've been learning things, but possibly nothing structured and possibly nothing tailored to you, to your needs and to your lifestyle and to your own story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that parenting coaching could help you?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Why?
Because I think it's like you said, like applicable to me, guiding us. So my husband and I guiding us in how to apply what we're learning. Like we've done a couple of seminars, but it's like you learn it really quickly, but you don't know how to continue the trajectory of implementing it.
Yeah, yes, I get it. It's like going to 2 group fitness classes and then you go back to the gym by yourself and you're like, what do I do?
Yeah. I can't lead a Zumba class after, 2 Zumba classes. And it's that with life, right? You're working, you're going through your own emotional stuff, but then you still need to figure out how to help your children and how to support your children and how to navigate.
I'm curious, is your husband on board with this parenting style?
He is, thankfully.
That's good. And for the ones who don't have a supportive spouse, I have something to say. Usually what I've seen in my experience as a coach is that the spouses who are not supportive of this style of parenting is not because they don't want to raise children with respect. It's usually because they see permissive parenting and not conscious parenting, or they see the pressure cooker I talk to fathers every day. I talk to fathers every day and then they tell me, I don't know if I want to believe her because she ends up yelling anyway. So it's like she yells at me for yelling at the kids and tells me to be gentle, and then I see her yelling at bedtime. It's like, but what I've seen, and I saw it with Chelsea's husband, the lady that I showed you before, like the last testimonial and all, I've seen it that once the father starts seeing that not gentle parenting, that conscious parenting works because you are more emotional regulated and the children are, and you are communicating to their children from their needs, and you are more equipped to guide them from positive discipline and not punishment, and they listen to you a lot easier and they calm down faster and things are not as big anymore and you are not as exhausted all the time. They usually come on board because they agree. Well, I've seen I've seen other fathers and they're not my clients, but I've seen fathers saying to me, no, children need to be yelled at. That's the thing to go. They're not my clients. But my clients, what I've seen is that they do agree on the big things, but they just don't agree on the method, on the things that they're seeing right now from their spouses, saying that they do conscious parenting, but they're really permissive or pressure cooker reactive. That's some of my friends and family not in support of conscious parenting. I understand. So what did Chelsea do? She started herself. She started herself. And once her husband saw it, 2 weeks in, he was like, okay, teach me. I want this too. I want to feel calmer. I don't want to yell as often. I want the kids to listen to me without me having to yell. I want to see the same things that Chelsea is living. So if you are thinking, I don't know if vamos al QR code. And if you're thinking, I don't know if my husband is not on board, I don't know if this is for me because of that, my encouragement is to bring them to the call. And this is why. One thing is when you tell him things, another thing is when he discovers things for himself. And we are trained professionals to help parents discover things for themselves. We are not going to tell him things. We have the skills and training to help to guide him so he discovers everything for himself. So bring him to the call. You can book the call right now on this on the chat, on the screen. Bring him to the call. Show up with him or with her. Sometimes it's a her. And once they discover things for themselves, things change. I don't know if we have the testimonial of Roberto. Do we have the testimonial of Roberto here, Federico? Fede? No, maybe no.
No, Roberto, no.
Okay. So we have a client, his name is Roberto. He was one of those fathers who believed in spanking. And then when he came to the assessment, we called the assessment an X-ray. When he came to the X-ray, he saw the impact that spanking was having in his daughter for himself, not because we told him. He joined parenting coaching, and after 14 weeks, he said, this changed the trajectory of the next 20 years of my life with my daughter. Because she's not fearing me anymore the same way she used to fear me. It was beautiful, his process. Yeah. Oh yeah, let's play Roberto real quick and then we're gonna dismiss.
So before I started the parenting coaching, I spanked my daughter that one. I spanked her twice. I remember one time it broke my heart. And I was like, oh my gosh, she is scared of me. After that happened, I said, this does not work. And that's when I was like, okay. I saw your videos on Instagram and I was like, I really resonated with your message. So I understood that and I was like, okay, I need to do better as a parent.
Roberto, how do you feel in your parenting after all the work here in HIC parenting with Holly, with the program?
I'm a different parent. I don't know how that, like I tell that to Elena sometimes. We're sitting down and I'm like, babe, I'm a different parent now. And I'm like, I'm proud of us. I think a week ago, I'm like, babe. I was like, I'm proud of us. I'm like, we're different parents. I was like, if we didn't take the class, we'd be completely different. And this really, affects the trajectory. Like if I didn't do this, where would I be in 20 years? That's what I kept thinking. Where would my relationship with my daughter be in 20 years? And so these little things that I've done with the coaching with HIC, like, I'm like, oh, I'll be friends with my daughter. She's going to love me. She's not going to be scared of me. She's going to come to me with problems. I love my dad. And I'm like, wow.
Imagine. So let's dismiss this and then we're going to talk about how to get your gift, the gift that I promised you in the very beginning of the class of the digital guide. Let's not go there yet, but I just have a reflection question here. And it is this one. What you do every single day, every single interaction you have with your child is building the net of their self-esteem, of their self-perception, and of the relationship they have with you. If you like the net you're building, or if you feel fully comfortable and equipped to keep building that net after this class with just the explanation of what the skills are, that's great. You can do so. I encourage you to keep working on it. But if if you don't like the net you're building, and you know that after this class you might try to do these skills for a little bit, but then you're gonna fall in the cracks because you don't have accountability, you don't have someone to help with troubleshoot hard moments, you don't have a continuous support. If that is you and you want to build a better net, a bigger, stronger, healthier net for your children, I highly encourage you to book this assessment session. I highly encourage you to consider parenting coaching. It changed my life. It did change my life. And it has changed the life of so many parents around the world. If it's not with us in HIC Parenting, look for parenting coaching, but get parenting coaching. If you don't like the net, if you want to strengthen the net, if the net has holes and you want to patch it, get parenting coaching. Right now, you have an opportunity to see how it would look like with a free assessment session. The link is in the chat. The QR code is on the screen. Come to the assessment and you will get not just so much clear about your particular situation, but with your permission, we will share with you what we would do with you in a coaching process. And you will make your decision whether, yes, this is a hell yes for me, or this is a hell no, get out of here. But you will be clear about what the next steps are. I don't know if there's still availability, but try to do it today, because once we share the replay with people, it's gonna get booked out. Let's go to the gift. The gift that I have for you, because you are here with me to the end. If you're watching the replay, this is not for you. If you came to the live class but you left before this is not for you. This is for all committed parents who are here right now. This is the Coping Strategies Guide to teach your children emotional regulation tools so they can process and live their big emotions in safety. This doesn't replace parenting coaching at all. It's information as well, but it's a great guide and a great tool. To claim this Coping Strategies Guide, all you have to do is take a screenshot of these instructions, email info@hicparenting.com. Number 2, give us a positive review about this class. It could be genuinely how these 3 steps or how these 3 skills could help you in your parenting moving forward. Not so much, hey, the class was great, where is my guide? Just a little effort, please. And we will reply back with info to access your Coping Strategies Guide. That's all. This offer expires today, so make sure that you do it today to get this Coping Strategies Guide for free. If you forget to do it today, then you can access it on our website at hicparenting.com for $57, I think it is right now, unless it's on sale. But you don't have to get on sale. You can get it for free right now by email us your review. Okay, so let's go to, I have a coaching session in 10 minutes. Let's go to the main room to dismiss. Roussel, you were very engaged from the beginning. I saw that you kind of working and you were back, and then you changed your background. Now you're at the beach. What did you get out of this time with us?
Reassurance. That was like the big thing, is the reassurance that it's these consistent shifts and tweaks. My favorite thing, like my favorite takeaway is my kids found a beetle. My favorite takeaway was the distinction between punishment versus forward focused, future focused. Yeah, positive discipline. And that really stuck with me and is still sticking with me. So I'm feeling encouraged to continue to like anchor that in.
I'm so curious, did you book your assessment session yet?
I was in the middle of that until you called me.
Okay, so good. Federico, is there availability for the ones who are here? I want to,
Yes.
okay, I want to make sure all of you guys have the opportunity before the replay crowd comes. Okay, cool. Okay, everybody, I just want to tell you that I love you. You are a good parent. You just need to believe it. And I hope to see you in the assessment session or as a client in HIC Parenting even better. You book for Thursday? Okay, great. Thank you, Erika. Thank you, Roussel, Tia, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.